Hi, I'm Sean Bielat. This is our campaign headquarters. Come on in, I'll show you around. A lot of people, that's our emblem up there, a lot of people ask why the lighthouse. And last time around, as I was getting into the race in 2010, I didn't want to do the standard red and white sign that Republicans usually use that just says Sean Bielat for Congress. I wanted to indicate something more about what we were going for. And it's probably the best $400 I spent was the money we paid for the designer. And the lighthouse says a couple of things. You know, it's first of all, it's about Massachusetts and kind of the district. But second, it's the idea of keeping people off the rocks, steering us in the right direction. I really like the emblem a lot, and we've gotten a lot of very positive feedback on it. So this is our headquarters. We have another office north of here in the town called Newton. It accommodates more volunteers, but this is where a lot of action goes on day to day. Now today it happens to be the case that we have people out elsewhere, so it's a little bit slower than usual. This is Jen. She's one of our volunteers, but she's a member of the team for, you know, she just doesn't, we don't pay her, which is nice for us. Not as good for her. We get a lot of hours and value from her. Typical campaign sort of volunteer food area. Over here there's a map of the state of Massachusetts, and here's our district specifically. Boston is basically right here. And so our district extends from Brookline and Newton, Wellesley and Needham. These are wealthy, particularly these two suburbs tend to be pretty liberal, but wealthy suburbs right outside of Boston. And then you kind of get a number of towns through here which are very middle America. They're people who either commute into Boston or work in their communities. Foxborough, where the Patriots play, is kind of a town that a lot of people have heard of. And then you go down into the South Coast area, and so this is Fall River. Fall River is economically depressed. There isn't a lot of opportunity there. There's 12% unemployment, and some of that's reflected in this region. Along here, New Bedford is one of the largest fishing ports in the U.S., but definitely on the East Coast. Moby Dick, actually. The ship sailed in and out of New Bedford, but this area used to be in the 4th District when it ran in 2010, but a lot of similar issues as Fall River down here. Just industry has left, the fishing industry has been overregulated, and the result has been a lot of economic hardship there. 46 days till the election. A bunch of our various types of paraphernalia. You can see Scott Brown signs. Scott is very supportive of our campaign and vice versa. It's a very important race for Massachusetts. It happens that Scott lives in our district, and his old state senate district is all in the 4th. So there's a lot of overlap there in terms of who he's trying to get out. One of our volunteers, how many calls have you made now? You've made hundreds and hundreds.
Oh, thousands.
Thousands, yeah.
Thousands, yeah.
So why do you come in? Tell the camera here a little bit about yourself and why you come in and what you do.
Okay, I come in even though I do not live in Sean's district. I can't vote for him, but I do believe that when we send someone to Congress, their votes affect all of us. I believe in Sean. I believe in his message and what he stands for. My husband is a disabled Marine Corps vet, and with Sean being in the Marines, it just endears him closer to my heart. And I try to come in as often as I can.
Tell him your name. Tell him who you are.
My name is Beverly LaFleur, and I live in Randolph, Mass. And that's South Boston. And I wish Sean was my congressman, but, you know, I know if I ever have to rely on him, he'll be there for me, like I try to be there for him.
And that's what makes this stuff work, is volunteers like this who put in their hours, put in the hard work, and do it because they believe in a cause. And last time around, before anybody knew who I was, we had the same sort of support. People who come in, they want something new for America, they want something, they're worried about the future of this country, and they come in and they do the work because it matters. and because they're making a difference. So, you know, I really appreciate all these people who make this happen, and Beverly for the thousands of calls she's done. Thousands makes a lot more sense than hundreds given off in here. And say something about what it is when you talk. What's it like? What sort of things do you talk about when you make these calls?
Well, what we're trying to do is where there are new towns to the district is to introduce Sean to voters who may not be as up to date on what's going on. They don't even know they're in a new district, and they have no idea who's running for Congress. And when we give them Sean's bio, there is perk up, and they get really excited that they now have someone that they can really vote for.
Right.
And it's exciting. We do have some, you know, a lot of people, they're kind of overloaded with information. They don't want to talk to us, which is fine. We're, you know, just very polite and tell them to have a nice day and go on with our day. We don't try, we're not out to convert them. We're out to just give them information. If they're willing to listen to our information, that's great. And if they're not, we feel that they're the losers, but that's their choice.
We don't call them losers.
No,
but
no.
And
we're
so,
very nice. We're very polite to them.
this is the district, this color here, and here's Randolph, which is where Bev's from. So it's a little bit outside. You can see. Here's a list for August, our top callers, and these are just 5. We have dozens more people who are coming in and making calls. Not as many, but it really adds up. So I'll show you a little bit more of the downstairs. Not going to take you upstairs where most of the staff sits, because that's where the secrets are. You know, we try to keep that a little bit separate. Oh, another one of our great volunteers lives down the streets.
Hi.
Want to say a little bit about why you come in and what you do, and
Well, I believe in
tell them who you are.
what Sean is doing. My name is Dave Coffey, and I worked for him during the last election, but this is an important one. I think that the balance of the freedom in this country is at stake. And we need to elect people who understand that and are willing to take a stand for what's right. We need to get freedom back in this country. And Sean is going to help us to do that.
And Dave's helping us to do that.
Mm.
And again, another example of why our volunteers are fantastic. Dave's in here all the time. These are some of the letters we get. We have many more upstairs, and by the end of this whole wall will be full of just, you know, this is there's some really inspiring stuff that comes in. People who write about, you know, a lot of Marines write in and tell about their service, especially the older guys who served in World War II, with pretty great stories. A lot of people just write in and say very touching things and talk about, you know, what they care about right now, and what this election means to them, and why they want, you know, something different for the country. One of our key volunteers, her daughter's in Italy, lives in Italy, just had a baby, so she usually sits here. She's over there for a week or two. We allowed her to leave for just kidding. A couple of our staff. This is Norm. Our field director. He was around in 2010, came back for seconds this time. This is Joanna, our campaign manager. Got all dressed up for the camera today.
Absolutely, always.
Yeah, so that's probably all I'm going to show you staff-wise, because like I said, the rest is upstairs. Here is an area that we use for a lot of volunteer projects. As I said before, we have a bunch of people up in Newton today in our other office, so it's a little bit slower, but we do a lot of, you know, envelope stuffing and that sort of thing, keep our signs here. And back here we have a little impromptu recording studio. Here's Adrian, our communications director. She set this up, and it's, we use this just to come down and record short videos that then we use for social media purposes and disseminate online. And so that's it. That's the gist of what I'm going to show you today. Like I said, there's some more things upstairs, and there's a bunch of people in Newton, and a lot of volunteers up there. Big space with a lot of phones for people to do voter ID calls, and that's what we do day in and day out. We have a lot of volunteers who come in and make this thing happen. So that's it's those volunteers out there. It's the people who come in and make those calls that make me confident that we'll win this November, and our online efforts as well. We've been to Red State, and which is primarily focused about social media, and then BlogCon, which is a conservative bloggers conference. I went down there as well. Wasn't there? What was the other big one I went to? Those were the main ones, right?
The National Convention.
Well, of course, the Republican National Convention, but there's been a lot of focus on the social media stuff because it's such a way to create more of a level playing field. If you're not the candidate who's going to go for the traditional resources, the big dollar stuff from the PACs and the special interests and the people in Hollywood and New York, which I'm not, then the social media becomes very important because you get that national grassroots support. And it really just changes the dynamics of the race and who the types of candidates are who can succeed and what they're driven by. So that's the tour. Thanks a lot. Appreciate the chance to do this video and to talk to people. So, go online, check out SeanForCongress.com, SeanFor Congress.com, and get involved. Help us out.